Hey, how's it going, you guys? It is Justin here, and we are going to be playing some Wolfskin's Curse tonight. This is a game about apparently some kind of monster and a nun, and that is all I'm going to say about it. I didn't read too much. I was just like, okay, I think I want to play this, so I'm going to play it. I'm a big fan of games like Raging Loop and uh, just Mafia or Werewolf, those kind of party games, so I thought like maybe this would appeal to me. I have no clue if it's anything like that, but hopefully it'll be good. I'm going into it pretty blind as far as what the story contains.
I am lost. Pray that I shall find my path. Pray that I shall not lose heart. Pray I see for who I am. This, the only wish I have. Before I've wronged, so far gone.
Okay, apparently it's voice acted. I didn't know that. So we are in Act 1.
We should think of finding shelter soon, before it gets too dark.
I mean, that's always a good idea. We got Ilona and then Edwin. Okay, apparently Edwin is not human. Is he the wolf? Or I'm assuming it's a werewolf. It looks like one.
I know that I'm asking for too much, but despite everything that's happened, would you please stay with me?
What? Edwin, please, calm down.
Ilona, I can't. Not in a situation like this.
You're right, but I need you to slow down. I can't keep up with you, and that is only going to make us look all the more suspicious.
Yeah,
We
listen
have
to Jaina.
only
I
each other
mean,
to rely
Ilona.
on. If only the moonlight would never leave us. We should rest here for a while. Edwin. Ed.
Yes, I'm here. Please, forgive my wandering mind.
Like, already this is probably, like, really high quality. Like, this is part of the Spooktober Visual Novel Jam, and I've been playing, like, a few games from that. And everything's been like good. I mean, it's not been like really that bad. I mean, obviously there are some that aren't as great as others, but like this is so far really good. Like this is a completely free game. I mean, you can choose to donate to the creator, but
What could I ever do without you?
I'm
I
I'm
feel
I'm
like I have
impressed.
never thanked you for.
You have thanked me more than enough already, Edwin. I appreciate it.
Like so far the writing is good. I like the art style. It's different. It's not like my usual visual novel I play. I usually play like the really anime looking ones. But I don't know. I'm interested in this so far.
Huh. I haven't felt like myself lately, since the incident back at the Priory. Try as I may to blend in, to do good, and keep myself in check. I am a beast, through and through. What is it that we've done so wrong? Is us being together something so heinous? Is my existence such a sin?
Well, if you're a werewolf, I mean, I could see how people wouldn't like you.
I did not know the extent of the hatred that lay within their souls until that night. To go as far as to burn me alive.
Wait, hold up. Did you get burned alive and you're still
Is there
alive?
something wrong with me, Ilona? I'm always on edge, fearing for our lives. I never meant to put you through this.
If you want my answer as a former nun, you and I have sinned.
Okay, so she's a former nun. Interesting.
You said that you were a beast, through and through.
I wonder if she's a former nun because she fell in love with a guy who's technically a beast and who is quite possibly immortal if he got burned alive and is still not dead.
You're not. You're...
That's enough loitering around the town while looking suspicious, don't you think?
Hey, this is a free country, isn't it? I mean, I have no clue what country we're in, but
I've been observing your movements from the battlements for a while now. Be grateful that the town master wishes to have a meeting with you, or else I would have already pierced you with my arrows.
dang, we're getting a warm welcome.
But we...
May we ask, to what purpose do we owe this pleasure?
Sister. All I know is that the master called you. I sighted a nun and a man outside the town walls and informed him of this. I can tell your legs are shaking even from here. So make sure to comply obediently, and I won't ask any difficult questions about you in return.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, I'm thinking of, like, a Spice and Wolf type setting, you know? Like, this is, like, what, like, 1500s or something? This would be kind of strange if you were just, you know, a nun and you were chilling with some guy. Like, either, like, he, like, kidnapped you or you, like, ran away with him. Like, either way, that would look bad.
She simply asked what business the master has with us. You're acting very feisty for someone who didn't even have the decency to introduce herself.
Yeah, you tell him, Edwin. Or tell her. Tell him.
My name is Annery. Happy now?
Annery.
I'm not
Okay.
going to probe you or... You may be outsiders, but you look like decent enough folk. No need to come up with any grand excuses for why you're here. So, let's get back to it. Will you accept the town master's call?
I suppose that choice is not truly much of one. I accept.
A wise judgment. You're clever for a nun.
Oh,
But you should learn to keep your dog in line.
I think that's funny because if he is a werewolf, I feel like that's kind of a dig at him.
Excuse me?
I don't appreciate being called feisty.
Hey, feisty is a compliment in my book.
I meant no offense when I said that.
So, you do have manners. It would do you well to keep them. Let's get moving then. I'll escort you to the manse.
Gosh, there's a whole bunch of words I don't know in here. I've heard of like priory before. I don't really know what manse is. Dang. Well, I feel like we're prisoners now. It's okay, Jaina. You can summon a water elemental. You'll be fine. Ooh, I like this art. It's nice. That window's like a peace sign. Except it, well,
When
kind of.
was the last time I felt any hope? Anything besides pain? The swelling in my chest is excruciating.
Should get that checked out, my
I
guy.
truly wouldn't have made it this far on my own. Even if I hide what I am well, people can't help but to be suspicious.
I mean, to be fair, look at his canines. They're pretty big.
Although, a town full of people not trying to kill me yet is quite an improvement.
What kind of decorations are these?
It's for All Hallows Eve, a celebration to commemorate the dead.
You mean All Saints' Eve? Why are the townsfolk celebrating in joy then?
uh, you were raised strictly, Ilona. Father Ivanov never wanted you to know about these pagan festivals. Oh,
Young lad, please watch your step. One mistake and this weary old man is done for.
Oh man, this dude looks like he's like 30 and just, you know, been watching a little too much anime.
I'm so sorry for bumping into you, sir.
Kelek, we're the same age.
Fancy meeting you here, Annery.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. He's trolling us.
Trolls. I never knew you had friends either. And who may you be, dear sister?
I'm not sure we're friends.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, anyhow. I'm Kelek. Annery and I go way back.
Oh,
That
okay.
we do, and I regret it.
Oh, my guy. I'm sorry.
You've just got to love that personality. Don't take her too seriously. She's always been like that.
I
Oh,
see.
okay.
I'm Edwin. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
As am I. My name is Alona. Forgive my ignorance, but are you the master of this town?
Me? Sorry, but no. I'm just a physician and herbalist. Did the master summon you?
Hmm. This guy should help out Edwin if he's having some chest pain.
He did, but I don't know what business we have with him.
I should have expected as much. Anari has a habit of leaving out the details and jumping straight to the point. I should get going, but we're bound to see each other again soon. Keep well, Anari.
Sir Eldin, Lady Salome, I've brought you Sister Ilona and her companion Edwin.
So, the man was with her after all.
At first, I thought a holy woman was being accosted by some blackguard. To think that he was her traveling companion.
I understand I may not have the friendliest appearance, but I have sworn to protect Sister Ilona from harm.
Oh, this is indeed unexpected. Anari's eyes are keen, but perhaps only for hunting her quarry.
True. There's no need to understand the conversations of beasts to hunt them, only their behavior.
Judging by Anari's report, I would have thought she was describing a saint.
Thank you for your kind words, but they are far too gracious to be wasted on me.
I thought you might be able to join us for tonight's feast for All Hallows Eve, and to perhaps lead us in prayer?
It's not every day that you see a nun, and much less in such unlikely company. So, would you accept our invitation?
Yeah, I feel like that would not be the best if you're worried about, people becoming a little suspicious of you.
We
But-
will gladly accept.
Tonight's banquet will begin shortly, but you should still have time to prepare for it. Anari, let us debrief in the meantime.
Well, we'll see how this goes. Roasted pheasant, let's go. We're eating good tonight. We got Fleur, or Fleur. I'm already gonna butcher these names. I say this every time I play a visual novel that has a name I don't know. Fleur's left side was Elsley, an assistant to the house. She looks like she makes potions. Interesting. So it sounds like they don't really have a presence of like a church in the town.
The food smells amazing. Was that the pheasant you caught today, Anari?
The very one. Ah, a successful hunt and high-quality spices can put even someone like me in a good mood.
You should always be in a good mood then.
Fleur, would you like some spice pheasant?
Oh no, thank you, Aunt Honoree. You always make it way too spicy.
That's too bad. I guess you don't really take after Uldin when it comes to food.
So, what brings you to Belarov, Mr. Edwin and Sister Ilona?
Guess we're in Belarov.
Our town may not look like much after our chapel was ransacked and destroyed,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was once breathtaking.
Yeah, like I got the impression like if she's very pious that she would have some kind of presence there, especially if she had influence in the town.
We're on a pilgrimage. We were just seeking shelter before dark. I heard about the destruction of a chapel some time ago, but I had no idea it was here.
Yes, it was the barbarians' doing. Even now, we're still rebuilding the town, but the faithful have moved on from here.
Oh,
I
well, that
miss
sucks.
having someone to share my connection with God, so I am sorry to impose my sudden invitation on you.
Oh, that's fine.
Belarov is home to people of many faiths. Many of us have traveled from afar, like myself.
From what I understand, Edwin was also quite the traveler before we met.
Do you have any stories, Edwin? I'd love to hear them.
To tell you everything that happened would tax my wits.
Have you seen any mythical creatures on your journeys? Ever met the fair folk? I've always dreamed of finding one.
Let me think. There was this one time I had an encounter with a giant.
Oh, interesting. Well, this was a lot more pleasant than I thought it would be.
You've really traveled a long way if you came from across the sea, Edwin.
Now, I'm wondering, how did you meet Sister Ilona?
Oh crap, we're gonna have to come up with an excuse.
Oh, that's a story for another time. I'm pretty tired.
Oh, could it be? Is the story of how you met Ilona not suitable for my ears?
Oh, hold up, she's a woman of God.
Is that it? You might be on.
Girls these days are sharp.
No, that's not it at all. It's not that interesting compared to my other stories.
I was under the impression you two shared a forbidden romance. Perhaps the strange forces that wander tonight will tip the scales at last.
Fleur,
Oh my
you
gosh.
shouldn't
Get outta
just
here.
Guess. And you really shouldn't encourage her, Ice.
Mother, it's All Hallows Eve. Tricks and pranks are all part of the fun. I'm merely teaching Sister Ilona about this part of the festival. She shouldn't be so serious and uptight all the time.
Well, they said they were on a pilgrimage. If their sins are meant to be forgiven in the end, they should be able to sin along the way all they want.
I don't think that's how it works.
Not you two, dear. You must have had too much to drink.
Yeah, it's like so obvious, like something is going on between them, but like it's not supposed to be.
I apologize, Mother. And I apologize to you as well, Adwin and Sister Ilona, for insinuating something I should not have.
We've arranged separate sleeping quarters for the both of you. Please, don't take our jest seriously.
You've been most gracious to offer us both this feast and shelter for the night. Thank you again for your hospitality.
Oh, no need. But if you must insist, you're welcome. Please, I know this is all too much for you and Sister Ilona. You've met quite a few people already, and it's getting late. If you need to retire for the evening, you are welcome to.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Dang, you guys got milk? I love me some milk. Milk and water, that's where it's at. It's all I drink. Okay, well not really, but majority of what I drink.
Though, I must admit, I remain curious as to how you two met each other. Are you religious, Edwin?
As much as any other man. Our meeting, well, Ilona pulled me out of a dark place. We bonded over the stories and poems she was recording. I did not want to let her travel alone, so I decided to act as her guard on this journey.
Ah, I see. Having a companion to talk about the same texts. That's not so different from me and Isley.
Well, magical text. Books about curses and spells, rather than stories and poems.
Oh, that's unusual. Both of you practice magic?
It's a useful resource, but difficult to master. You did say the two of you are on a pilgrimage, so you might not be aware of recent events.
There have been sightings of a werewolf in another town.
Oh wow, we know nothing about that.
Those foul beasts. A werewolf truly must be cursed to succumb to their bloodlust.
Yeah, hate to tell you, but Maybe we shouldn't. Let's not tell him.
Please, pay no heed to my language. It's just Belarov was once an old fortress, so we don't have to worry about monster attacks. But in my youth, I experienced an attack firsthand.
I hate to tell you, my guy, but you kind of invited one in.
If it were not for my study of magic, who could say what might have happened?
Edwin, are you okay?
I apologize. I might have gone too far.
Do you need any assistance?
No, thank you, Ilona. And yes, Fleur, I think I may need to rest for the day. Please excuse me, my mind's been all over the place. I should be back in full spirits by tomorrow.
Very well. Isley, if you may, show him to his room, please.
Of course.
Yeah, we ended up getting pretty lucky. I thought, like, oh, this is gonna go bad.
Lord, please have mercy on my soul. I want to believe that I am human, but the people won't accept me all the same. Am I allowed to surrender at last if I were to end it? Right here and right now. Wouldn't that be spectacular? Look at me, a husk of myself. Not even courage remains. Pathetic. I should be better than this. Stronger than this. What was the point of going through the trials of the military otherwise?
I'm just curious, like, has he always been a werewolf, or is this something like that happened recently?
I've been through worse. That day, I was brave, wasn't I? I did save my sister from the werewolf attack, didn't I? But did I really do it for her? Or did my thirst for blood take over? A whiff of blood and I'm running towards it, and he won't leave me alone since then. The Lord of the Forest, he calls himself, penetrating my dreams ever since that day, and granting me the curse of the Wolfskin.
Oh, okay. I guess this is where the Wolfskin name comes in.
Only the insane ones are bestowed with this torment. Like I. What am I doing? Ilona told me once to hold on to hope. What's done is done. But today was a disaster. How could I lose my composure? I was practically dripping with sweat. I know for a fact that Uldin must have noticed that. Sooner or later, I'm a dead man, and I will bring Ilona down with me. Ilona, my darling, I wish I could say these words to your face. What a fool I am for having kept my affection a secret from you.
Oh, so he's secretly in love with her.
Because
Thought that
now,
was like an established thing. Apparently not.
now I don't think I'll get another chance to say what I want to say. I can feel the hysteria building up within me, expanding like it's never before, rising so far, far away from my control. But I promise you this, Ilona. I am not going to hurt you. I am going to do right by you. I am not going to hurt anyone who's innocent. It may seem the other way around, but whatever I do, I will have a damn good reason for it.
I wonder, like, to what control he has of, like, transforming and things like that. Like, is it a rage thing? Is it like okay, whenever there's a full moon? It looks like there was the moon out right now. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea to lock your room.
Ed, I wonder how he's doing. That conversation earlier really took a turn for the worse for him.
Yeah, it sounds like, besides being a werewolf, he's fighting his own inner demons.
Not a sound. He's probably asleep.
Or apparently he's trying to off
I
himself.
should get some rest too, so we can both leave early tomorrow. The people here are kind, but there's too much risk if we stay. We have to keep moving.
Alright. It's interesting so far. I wonder where this is going, I guess is my question. Oh. Well, it sounds like he's going a little crazy, is what my guess is. It sounds like there's someone screaming. That's not good.
There's no time to lose. See if you can wake him up. I'm going on ahead.
Hedwin, it's Alona. No, please.
It's no use! Damn it! If only I was stronger. I'm going to get Anari. Something's wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Servants' quarters are on the other side of the house up the stairs. Get a master key for this door.
I have a copy of the master key. Come on, there's no time to waste.
Oh gosh. What did you do, Edwin? This doesn't look good. I'm guessing he went a little crazy.
Hedwin.
My guy.
Don't come any closer. Stay away.
Oh, did you kill her? My guy.
Get away from him, Alona! I knew there was something wrong with him. I should have shot him dead when I had the chance.
I was too late. I'm so...
We need to restrain him. Flair's gone missing.
I didn't do it.
An honest man would beg harder for his life. You sound like you've already accepted your execution.
Wait, please give us a minute. I want to talk to Edwin.
Fine. 1 minute and no more. I'm sure you wouldn't be so stupid as to try anything. But be warned.
I want to know, did he actually do it?
Edwin, can you hear me?
I am so sorry, Ilona. I wasn't able to control it.
Do you swear that you didn't kill them?
When I entered the room, they were already like this.
Interesting. Like, I want to believe him.
Then you weren't the one. Something's wrong. Your hands, they're not turning back.
Stop! I can't say I trust you quite yet, Ilona. You seem like a clever girl. And who would dare suspect a nun of planning such a gruesome scene? Turn yourself in quietly, Edwin, and I'll make sure her interrogation isn't painful.
But, like, the way they describe the scene makes it sound like it really was a werewolf attack. I'm wondering, is there another one?
What now?
It's obvious that Edwin is guilty, but I'm not sure what to do with a nun.
Don't be hasty, Enery. There's a lot we don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, if he says he didn't do it, I don't know why he would say
Besides,
that and then give
I'm
himself
certain
up
I was
quietly.
the first one to wake up. I didn't see Ilona do anything suspicious.
That matches up with what I saw of her. It just doesn't seem like something Ilona would do from what I know of her.
Yeah, I mean,
What? You think she would let you in on her plots in one night?
That's precisely it. She's awful at keeping secrets. If she really was involved, I don't think she would be able to hide it.
Ilona, did you know that the man was a werewolf before entering this town?
I mean, that's not gonna look good if you say yes.
Yes. In my presence, he's more capable of controlling his transformation.
Now, I mean, whether they trust you or not, like, you willingly brought a werewolf in, like, knowing that they didn't like werewolves.
And yet you've been harboring a monster, regardless of the consequences? Unfathomable.
Yeah, I don't blame them
searching
for, like,
a
being a
way
little
to
pissed
cure
off
his
about that.
curse. That is all.
Yeah, but you're still bringing him in the presence of people, and obviously he can't control himself to some degree, whether he
Please,
did it or
I
not.
honestly don't think he did it. There must be more to what happened. I can help you find it.
The town needs to know we can't hide this for long. Not to mention, Floor is still missing. As long as we keep an eye on Ilona as she investigates, I think it should be safe.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb and make a prediction, okay? This might be totally wrong, but this is what I like to do for any kind of game like this. I wonder if Kellogg is like a werewolf or some kind of beast, okay? That's my prediction. It just seems like he was the first one up. He seems like this kind of like lighthearted guy who's just super chill, but probably has like some darker past or secret to him. That's my prediction. We'll see if I end up being right or close.
Fine. Let her run around. Just make sure someone keeps an eye on her. Always. I'll go first. You two assemble a search party for the forest in the meantime. I'll lead the search once you're ready. Ilona, you have until sundown. Prove that Edwin is innocent, or I'm going to personally make sure you won't like what's coming to the two of you.
Interesting. Act 2, All Hallows Day, The Curse. So essentially, This is kind of like a werewolf mafia type game. We got to figure out who did it. Yeah, gosh, this just makes it seem like it's him. Because he's someone who investigates bodies. He would know how to make them look like that. He would know to cover it up and leave out things. He's just like my number one suspect.
Could Salome have survived that attack? Even for just a moment? Apparently, Din was capable of using fire magic. Did Salome get caught in his attack? I can't really imagine that happening.
I mean, another really far-fetched theory is that Salome was killed by Alden. I mean, that would be crazy, but
Anything out of place?
maybe he was drunk. Maybe they had a fight. Maybe their marriage wasn't that great.
There's traces of fur, but that's about it. What about the...
Isley told me there was something that felt out of place in Fleur's room. I'll also let you look through Salome's room.
She asked you to go over the events of the day with her, after she met with us. I assume you came to her room, Anari?
Correct. I gave my report about seeing you and Edwin for the ladies' record keeping. The one thing that's not where it should be is the chest. Though,
What is it? Please, don't hold back.
I don't think it has anything to do with the murders. That chest is meant for Fleur when she is married. Salome had it made recently.
So it's that chest on the desk there.
It's natural she might have moved it since I was last here. She did worry about Fleur's future, after all. Salome was still considering which items should go inside.
Yeah, so what's unusual about that movie? I mean, it's also entirely impossible, or entirely possible that Kellogg and NRE work together. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe something happened. Maybe they've always wanted to kill him. Just throwing that out there. They would be capable of doing it. You know, the one guy's apothecary. He has potions. Could poison them or something. Drug them. She has a bow. She also noticed them coming to town and had an excuse to essentially commit a murder by blaming them. Maybe she overheard the conversation, heard that he was a werewolf, and thought, oh, I'm going to blame it on a werewolf. Did she get turned into this? Is this actually her?
I've seen quite enough. I don't want to remain in this ghastly room.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's something else going on here. There's some magic or something.
Anari, you don't look too well. I think we should pause our investigation for the moment. Would you like some tea?
Tea? Does it look like I'm in the mood for some tea right now? in the middle of this mess? Is there something wrong with your head, sister? Have you forgotten the situation we find ourselves in? Or are you trying to lace my drink with—
I can assure you it's none of that. I want to find the culprit as much as you do, but I'll need your help for that. I only wish to see that you're in good health to proceed, so I thought we could take a quick break.
With some tea, I get it. Very well. I must tell you that I despise the leaves from this country, so you'd bet—
Are there any to your taste?
Fine black tea with bitter orange. I think old Din had some in his pantry.
We're stopping to have a tea break. Yeah, it's kind of morbid just drinking this dead guy's tea.
Here you go. Please, have some.
Not bad. Tell me, are all nuns this annoying?
Wow, how rude.
Pardon me?
Whatever you're trying to do is futile. Re-examining the corpses or the rooms won't change anything. Edwin was the one who killed them.
Okay, bear with me. Even if that was true, wouldn't there be something else going on here? It looked a little suspicious. Like, why would Salome be burned?
What makes you so sure of that?
I heard the details from Kalak and Isley. Everyone's locations were accounted for. I was on patrol as the head of the town guard. Kalak was the first one to react to the scream, followed by you. Isley was in her room. Each of us were able to confirm each other's location at the time of the murder. The only one who couldn't be found was Edwin.
How do you suppose that everyone is saying the absolute truth? Kella could have acted as if he witnessed the murder. We have no account of what he was doing before that. There was also nobody around to confirm that Isley was not at the crime scene. And I found her alone. And finally, where was Fleur? You do understand where I'm coming from, yes?
I do. You're smarter than you look, nun.
You smart nun, you.
Indeed. Fleur was missing at the time of the murder. Nobody had seen her enter or exit the meds, I'll give you that much. But I highly doubt she could be the murderer. She's far too frail.
Well, I mean, we're talking about magic here. Like, she could have been
The
cursed
door
herself.
was destroyed in the time it took for Isley and I to return. How do you explain that?
Does the door being destroyed really mean anything? It doesn't change the fact that Edwin was at the crime scene, transformed.
Oh my gosh, you're so nearsighted. You just want your one justice. Like, you're just like, okay, I know it's him. And you're not willing to consider anything else.
Let me cue you in on this. Out of everyone here, you and Edwin are the most suspicious.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But, like, hey, have some
The
decency
two
for
of
us,
you
okay?
are outsiders, whereas we've all known each other for a long time.
Exactly why some of you could have planned this.
I don't plan on letting my bias against the two of you get the better of me, however. Let's start at the beginning. What could be the motivation for the murder?
Power, jealousy, greed.
Kelak was an associate of Uldin and I during the war. He's selfless to the point of stupidity. I guess serving as a medic will do that to you. It's hard to admit this, but I consider Kelak to be a close friend. He is a kind-hearted man.
Yeah, but that's exactly why you're biased. Why I wouldn't trust your testimony of him, essentially.
But that is no reason for letting him off the hook. He simply has no reason for murder.
You don't know that?
Please.
He's as kind as he is weak, so I doubt he could overpower both Uldin and Salome. Anything he could have ever needed, whether coin or rare books on magic, he could have simply asked Uldin, and Uldin wouldn't have hesitated. because they share quite the history.
Yeah, maybe there's something in that history.
Although, one thing I can tell you for sure is Kalak is hiding something. Before he settled here, he had done nothing but walk and regret for 5 years, or so he says. It keeps him up at night. Whether it's related to this case, I do not know.
What about Isley? I honestly don't know much about her.
She acted as an assistant to Salome, to help with keeping the town running, organization, and tasks.
Okay.
She's been doing her fair share of blunders lately, but I know she takes her job seriously. Perhaps she's just daydreaming more. I'm not saying that she's incompetent, let me get that straight. As long as her clumsiness doesn't get in my way.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a lot of villains where you think, oh, they're just like really, they space out all the time and they're this and that, but they're actually like plotting murder and doing deceptive things behind your back. I mean, those are the people you should really suspect the most because you really don't know what their true intentions are. You just see what they want you to see.
Though, I don't know much about her either to determine her motivation.
Yeah, you can't really know a person too well. Like, there's always that, like, oh, I can't believe they would do this or that. You know, you hear about it, like, in some documentary or story. Like, I would have never imagined they would be capable of this. It's because, like, you can't know the true inner workings of somebody. You really just don't. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't trust people, but in the end, when it comes to a situation like this, you have to admit, like, hey, I didn't know them as well as I thought I did.
Is she close with Fleur? They are almost the same age.
Not really. Isley and Fleur seem to be in their own heads. Isley with the study of magic as an apprentice, and Fleur being a little troublemaker and a prankster. My niece still plays jokes and tricks, even at her age. It's all childish nonsense. Fleur.
Are you feeling alright, Anari?
Don't you dare patronize me, woman! Who do you think you are, prying so brazenly? Take your high and mighty servant of God tripe elsewhere!
Okay, whoa. Who pissed in your Cheerios?
Trying to save that monster lover of yours. Are you out of your mind?
I do not know what has gotten into you all of a sudden, but I do not appreciate being spoken to like this. I showed compassion for you when time is of the essence. Instead of listening to you berate me, I should be finding the murderer. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lash out at you like that. It's just, I want to find the culprit behind this mess.
If the eye standing here was the Anari a couple of years back, you would have been mutilated by now. However, I did step out of line. Who you choose to be with is none of my business. I know violence for the sake of it won't solve anything, though we may not see eye to eye on everything, Nun. I quite like you now. The tea must have swayed my opinion. Since we're on good terms now,
Are we?
and I can't bear to see you with such a sad face, I'll let you in on a secret. There's a cure for lycanthropy. You may be rid of the beast that lies within your dear beloved.
What is she gonna say, death?
And for your and Edwin's sake, I suggest you use it.
Which is?
It's for the lichen to die, of course.
Wow, I didn't see that coming. Oh, such a good joke.
The look on your face, brilliant. No, don't give me that look. I was only kidding. Partly.
Partly.
Anyhow, enough chit-chat. I must go and make preparations to lead the search party for Fleur.
I should take my leave as well. There is much to consider after what we've seen today.
Indeed. I can't wait to hear what kind of answer you will give at sundown.
I can't ever tell if you're on my side.
I don't think she
I
is.
wonder too.
I don't know. Then again, she has like really big canines. Maybe she's the werewolf. That wouldn't surprise me if they were working together. That's my theory. It was either Kellogg and Anari or just one or the other. Yeah, see, they're talking to each other personally.
Where to?
Uh,
Hey! Is everything alright? Stay with me! Ilona?
Hold up. Did NRE spike our tea or something? Hold up.
was I?
Take it easy. You're safe. We're still in the manse.
Just how long was I out for?
It's almost midday. It wasn't an ordinary fainting spell. You should have regained consciousness faster if it was simply fatigue and stress. I've taken precautions and treated you for poisoning.
Then, do you think... Did Anari try to poison me?
I suppose you really can't rule out that possibility. Did you
Yes,
either
we
drink
did.
anything with her?
Only tea, but I was the one who suggested and prepared it. I didn't see her slip anything in my drink. In fact, she was convinced I was trying to poison her.
She's not the type to take such a cowardly approach. She may seem cruel, but I don't think she would go that far to sabotage your efforts and put a stop to you.
It seems you and Anari know each other well. I don't have much time, but I need to ask. She had an extreme reaction upon seeing a wooden statue resembling Fleur. What could have terrified her so much about it?
Truth be told, I don't really know much about her history. Only rumors. She must think that the statue has something to do with the Fae. Something in her past made her be wary of them. Fleur admires the fair folk. The wooden statue is too elaborate to be one of Fleur's pranks, especially with the death of her parents.
So, her aversion to seeing the statue has to do with her trauma and distaste for Fleur's Fae-related tricks?
Something like that. Anari hates being pitied, and she doesn't show pity for anyone else. She would be terrified at the thought of Fleur being spirited away by the fair folk. It's not something that she could ever accept. That's probably why she's leading the search.
I will say this is also not going to be like some kind of crazy like Fleur is like doing a whole prank for Halloween, right? Like that's not going to be the twist.
About the tea you had with Anari, was there anything odd about it? I'm asking because before the banquet, I gave Uldine his medicine, a powerful soporific. There were 3 less doses in the pantry when I checked.
Then you think someone last...
Oh, Ilona. I heard you fainted in the town square. I was worried.
Ah, yes! I'd invited Isley over for lunch. Ilona, you probably haven't eaten at all yet, have you? You should try to eat, even if it's just a little.
I mean, you know, we're trying to solve a murder here.
I guess it's hard to trust anyone after what you've been through.
No, it's fine. I'll eat with you. You're right, I probably can't do much if I don't take care of myself.
Or how about the big plot twist is everybody was in on it. That's why they got invited. So they could get blamed for it. You know, obviously except for Aldine and Salome. I mean, to be fair, like, you know, they all know them pretty well. They could have had motivations. I'm just speculating at this point.
So, are you considering the possibility someone tried to drug us during the banquet?
Because it's got to be someone we know. I mean, they
That's
wouldn't
what I
just throw a
feared, at
character we
least.
didn't know.
Anari and I left before that, so I don't really have a clear picture of what exactly happened.
Gosh, this definitely feels like a game of Werewolf, or like if I'm playing Raging Loop.
The sugar! It must have been tampered with. Last night, I didn't add any to my tea because I didn't want to be rude, but I took some when I had tea with Anari.
I remember Fleur was really insistent on putting sugar in my tea. I did think that was weird.
How much sugar did you put in your tea this morning, Ilona?
4 spoonfuls.
That sure is a lot.
Goodness! No wonder you were out for so long. I'm surprised Anari didn't get on your case for adding tea to your cup of sugar.
I think we can confirm this theory to be true then. Someone was trying to put us into a deep sleep, and there's a chance they were trying to target Edwin specifically.
Gosh, I knew someone that pretty much poured like half a cup of sugar in their coffee. So like they would drink the coffee and they would pour about half that cup's volume of sugar in there. And I'm like, bruh. And then they would eat like waffles with syrup.
Then that would implicate Salome
It's just
as
way
well,
too much
most likely.
sugar. I'm like,
They
oh
were
my
the ones who
gosh.
prepared the tea last night.
It's not like I can deny it, but
Dean could be involved, too. The truth is, the medicine he uses is made to look inconspicuous on purpose. I never inquired too closely about it, but he comes from a rather unscrupulous family. It wouldn't surprise me if he was aware of this plot.
So they were both in the same room. Is that because they were talking, or because they actually were sleeping in the same room?
could you tell us more about how Edwin is able to transform into a werewolf? Have you seen him do it?
No, I haven't. When he transforms, even when I ask it of him, he tells me to look away or to close my eyes.
Wait, why do you ask him to transform? What do you do when he's a werewolf?
It's a secret.
Whoa, Ilona.
Secret. Wait, that's precisely it! I heard of shape changers before while studying cursed objects. They would either use an ointment or the pelt of an animal to assume the form of a beast.
Okay, so that must be the Wolfskin's curse.
If the curse was tied to his body, he wouldn't fear you witnessing his transformation. But what if it was an item? If he feared betrayal, he wouldn't even show it to an ally.
Besides, there's always a risk involved in keeping that item safe. So it is better that only the bearer knows of it, because it could get lost, or destroyed, or...
There is a high chance that this cursed item still exists. Had it been destroyed, he would have died along with it.
This would give us a reason as to why Edwin was drugged last night. Uldine and Salome are sharp, and they might have caught on to Edwin being a werewolf early on.
If we return this item to Edwin, would it restore the transformed arms back to a human form?
It's entirely possible if that's what controls the transformation. A cursed item like that can generally only be bound to one person.
Interesting.
Someone else could have also used it, but
Uldine would understand the consequences of such a thing.
I highly doubt it would be him.
Even so, finding this item might lead us to finding the true culprit, or at least help make sense of this tragedy.
I mean, is it possible that someone, like, gave the item to Uldine?
You might not be able to convince everyone that Edwin is innocent otherwise.
Like, maybe they stole it? I don't know how they would do this, but maybe they stole it, gave it to him. Maybe, like, Uldine transformed and went crazy?
Yes, Anna Ree wouldn't accept it so easily. What would it take to convince her of Edwin's innocence?
Or maybe it was given to Salome?
Short
Salome
of
went
having the
crazy?
culprit confess their crime, or finding Floor in hope of an answer. I don't know.
Gosh, now I'm really curious. I love stories like these because I want to know what happens. I want to know who did it. Like, I love guessing. I don't have enough evidence to like be like, oh yeah, it was this person. I thought it was Kelleck and NRE, but maybe not. I mean, Floor is like missing, so that makes her look kind of like obviously suspicious to me, and I'm just like, I'm not sure if I want to like accuse her based on that.
Kalak knows this, but I am not meant to have a copy of the Master Key.
I used to be a thief before I came here.
The reason why I was an assistant to this household was because I tried to steal one of Uldine's rare books.
Well, that doesn't make you suspicious
However,
at all.
I've lived the past well behind me. Dean made me his friend instead of punishing me, and I'm thankful for that. This chest. Last time I saw it, it wasn't locked. Salome was still rearranging it to look nice.
Yeah, that would be important to check that. Maybe there was either the item that Edwin had, or maybe there was another one in there.
Let
I thought you said you put the past behind you.
I did, but I thought the tools might come to be useful one day. We're doing a good thing, aren't we? Lockpicking is not inherently evil.
Exactly. Just call up the lockpicking lawyer. I'm sure he can get it
Full
open.
of surprises, eh? I trust you're not making excuses now.
Of course not. I merely.
Nicely!
It hurts!
Hold up, what happened?
Do something!
There should still be some medical supplies in my room.
Do you need my help?
It's alright. I just need to slow the bleeding and elevate the injury site. Don't touch anything else in this.
Breathe. If the chest was a trap, then there has to be something in there that someone doesn't want found. This must be it. Salome seems so kind and caring. It looks like Salome bought something, but the final product was never finished. This could be important. I better hold on to this. What about this chest? Did Fleur witness the murder? Did she take the wolfskin and leave it as a message in her mother's room?
Gosh, I'm so confused.
But the chest is trapped and placed in the open. That doesn't make sense. Why would she want us to find it only to hurt us?
Yeah, why would the chest have a trap that like pretty much just injures your arm? That really doesn't prevent you from getting in, especially if there was like multiple people, you know? I don't understand that.
I must have courage. I know that I made the right decision. If this can ease his spirits, even just a little, then it will have been worth it. We're so close. Salome must be the one who did it. If I can just get Edwin to confirm it, then I won't have any fear.
There's gotta be more to this. That seems too obvious.
Ilona, you shouldn't be here. Wait, you found the...
I was alone when I took it. Nobody wore it either.
Thank goodness you're okay. Where did you find it?
Salome's bedroom, inside a chest meant for Fleur.
What? That's... You've saved my life once again. Thank you.
Interesting. So it was stolen from him is what I'm hearing.
Please, there's no need to thank me. It's given me a chance to talk to you again. Do you think you can tell me more about the murder?
Of course. Though you probably know more about it than I do.
If I think of who could have been present in the Master's chambers at the time, only 2 people remain. Did Salome murder Uldin? I've gathered that they must have died from the wounds they inflicted on each other. Am I correct?
From what I could tell, yes, but I've already put you through too much. You have to stop this investigation. There's no use in getting your hopes up.
What? I don't understand. We're so close to finding out the truth. What is there left to hide?
I feel like it's just because he probably doesn't like himself and just kind of blames himself for it anyways.
If I were to live my life honestly, if I were not a monster, you wouldn't have to keep living a lie.
I mean, you're still gonna put her through trouble if you get blamed for it.
Earlier today, I saw you holding Salome's corpse in your arms. What happened?
I hid the answer from you for a reason. Please, don't pry any further.
Edwin, come on, my guy.
You really did kill her? No, there's no way. You couldn't have.
Well, I mean, it could be like to protect Olduin.
I should have said something sooner, rather than have you go through all of this. I'm sorry.
I believed you were innocent.
If it truly were that simple, then... well, I wouldn't have been locked up.
Tell me everything. Even if the truth will damn us both, I need to know.
Okay, we're in Act 3.
I retired to my bedroom after Uldin's story about the werewolf attack. I couldn't take much more of it. After that, I fell into a deep and dreamless sleep. I first noticed the wolfskin was gone when I heard the scream. The faint scent of perfume made me think it must have been Salome's doing.
Did you hear me knocking on your door?
I didn't know if you were alone. I heard Kellak's voice on the other side. I kept quiet, knowing I couldn't risk opening the door with my arms transformed.
So, when Kellak and I left to seek help, you moved to the master bedroom.
Yes, if the wolfskin had been taken, it surely would be there. I was only thinking of saving my own life. When
Sounds
I
like you
broke
kinda
down the
screwed
door,
yourself, honestly.
Salome was on the ground, barely conscious anymore. The room was full of smoke and ash. She still had some lichen features, fangs and claws. Her voice was thin, high and frail. Her body seemed so small. I've never seen burns that horrible. I asked to have the wolfskin back, but she ignored my plea. With the last of her strength, she begged me to kill her.
How did you do it? Kellak ruled her death as complications from her burn wounds.
I tried to think of the most merciful way to give her peace. I truly did pity her. We suffered the same curse, and I felt my sorrow in her. I held her close and crushed the bones in her neck, hoping for an instant death.
You're certain you killed her? She wasn't already dead before that?
Wait, hold up. How does that make sense if she was a werewolf? How was she not transformed then? Hold up.
When a bearer of the wolfskin dies, they revert to human form. She no longer had any bestial features when I was done.
Ah, okay. And that would make sense because Oldine goes out of town a lot.
And as you search for the wolfskin, we found you.
But why would she have his wolfskin? I don't understand that part.
Yes. How you found it in the chest in Salome's room, I don't know.
Fleur still hasn't been found. People fear she's actually been kidnapped or taken by the Fae.
Do you think that could be the case?
Her location was not accounted for during or after the murder. Part of me believes she's more than just a witness.
Then you believe her to be an accomplice. Or if she were the murderer.
I mean, that's like the most obvious, but I'm just like, is that really it?
If she wore the wolf skin, perhaps. But if she truly is lost, she'd be suffering the same consequences as I did. It's excruciating to go through. When I was first given the wolf skin, I foolishly tried to part with it and leave it behind. In retribution for not heeding the curse, I was left howling in pain.
Did she, like...
If she's still missing and guilty, she'd need to have incredible fortitude to remain silent for such a long time.
Is it possible, like, maybe when she gave it up, like, she turned to wood?
Then maybe Fleur was just an accomplice. Unwillingly, perhaps. I strongly believe that she helped Salome.
That's probably the safest assumption. Until she is found.
I just feel like we're
If
missing
only
something.
we
I
had
just
been
don't
honest and
understand.
asked to stay together.
No. Had they sought the wolfskin while we were together, they might have killed you to get their hands on it. It would have been just as easy to frame me for that.
Yeah, but how did they sneak it from you in the middle of the
This
night?
may have been for the best.
Did you not lock your
Let's
door?
not think about that now. I'm as involved in this as you are, regardless.
Ilona, listen to me. The people here, they appreciate you. I meant to bring this up in the morning, when we saw each other again. You should stay here. Let them dispose of me. Live and survive.
And watch you die? Do you really think I would be happy with something like that?
I'm going to get what's coming to me, sooner or later. Your hurt and pain will heal. You can recover. If you're with me, you won't be able to walk a righteous path. But if you leave me here, at least one of us will survive.
Enough! I was well aware of the consequences when I left the Priory with you. I'm not trying to find a way to break your curse so I can return to the Priory, or to repent for my sins. I'm doing it so we can live together without the constant fear of being hunted down.
Ilona, you
I can't do that if you offer yourself up to be killed.
Then we need to survive and break the curse. We'll travel to my homeland, and you can meet my family. We'll live in a valley by a lake, and you won't have to feel lonely ever again.
I mean, sure, that's really romantic and all, but, like, you should probably figure out what's going on here first.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. We need to figure out a plan first. Now that you have your wolfskin back, you could easily break through the chains. We could escape.
That's not the right thing to do, though. Why don't you do that as a last resort?
It'll be difficult, but I can try. The walls are high, but I could scale them if I transform. If you could survey the town's layout, looking for a part of the wall that could give me some footing, that would help us.
Understood. I should go. Someone might be searching for me.
What are you doing here, Ilona? Praying for help, now of all times.
Yeah, that's the last person I'd want to see if you're thinking about escaping.
Indeed. I was praying for your success in finding Fleur. Are there any new leads?
No. But there's still time before sundown. We'll search the forest. I had to personally oversee another crucial job.
What might that be?
Making sure there's enough firewood to build a pyre.
Apparently, it wouldn't be the first time that they tried to burn him down.
Edwin is a huge man. Wouldn't it be terrible to burn him at the stake, only to leave the job half finished? And he can turn into a werewolf. What if he transforms as he burns up?
You may think him a monster, but sometimes you speak like one.
It's not like I'm the one who murdered 2 people. But I'm sure you've had more than enough time to learn how your beloved little werewolf took care of that through your investigation.
Gosh, yeah, so like so
You
suspicious.
shouldn't let your guard down. I have a better understanding of the situation now.
Good. This should be entertaining.
Well, it sounds like this isn't gonna go well.
We will begin the proceedings against Edwin, who was apprehended this morning. He has made his companionship with the nun Ilona clear. Ilona has been harboring him with the knowledge that he is a werewolf. Edwin was found on scene, holding Salome's lifeless body. I'll start first with some important information. We could not locate Fleur. But we found this envelope in the forest. The seal on it was still intact.
By the time you receive this letter, I will be reunited with who I consider to be my true family. I could only choose one or the other, and so I have decided to take a test of faith to prove my worthiness. I will strike terror into the one who has abandoned me. In doing so, I have let fate decide my hand, and this was the result. To reunite me with the fair ones forevermore. Fleur Belarovna.
Interesting.
We are certain that this is her handwriting. Fleur is no longer with us. She has been taken by the fair folk. We couldn't find any trace of her, not even her footprints, or any clues towards her disappearance.
I mean, it sounds like she willingly left.
With that matter settled, let's proceed with Edwin. The nun Ilona has prepared a defense.
Well, it sounds like she had a fascination with like mystical, magical things. So that doesn't surprise me. And she said like she's going back to like her real family, so it sounds like she already had a connection to them. I mean, I don't know, that seems kind of suspicious too.
This murder had at least 2 conspirators involved, Salome and Fleur.
Oh?
Both Salome and Fleur conspired together to drug the guests at the banquet by poisoning the sugar with a powerful soporific. This was given to Oldin by Kellogg last night as part of his medicine to aid his sleeplessness. Kellogg has confirmed 3 doses of this medicine disappeared from his dispensary. During the banquet, Fleur and Salome were able to figure out Edwin's true nature and thought to drug him by lacing the sugar with the soporific. When Edwin was asleep, they were able to steal the cursed item from him and assume the form of a werewolf.
All I care about are the deaths themselves at the end of the day. So, who was the one that murdered Oldin?
Yeah, it's entirely possible that Salome attacked Olden, and then he fought back. That's why she was burned, and then realized like, oh, it was her, you know. Or maybe he didn't realize. Maybe he just died. And then she dies shortly after. Or yeah, maybe
How
Fleur
were you able
attacked
to
both of them. I
identify a
don't know.
burnt corpse in the master's chamber?
Her skin was charred beyond recognition, so we had to resort to what remained of her hair and her ring.
Did Salome have any identifying features on her body? Anything that could be used to set her apart?
Nothing that I know of, apart from the mole near her eye. And as I said, her face has been horribly burned.
Then here's my answer for who murdered Oldin. The culprit was Fleur. The corpse of Salome has been misidentified.
Interesting.
What? How dare you doubt Kelleck's judgment? You must be truly grasping at straws to make such bold claims.
You said the corpse's face, hair, and body were burned to an unrecognizable state. The only identifiers we had were Salome's ring and her nightgown. All clothing and effects. I insist. This is Fleur's body.
Say we believe for 1 second we mistook one corpse for another. Why Fleur? Why would she ever want to murder her own father?
Well, it sounds like she had something else going on outside of the walls.
I don't have all the details. This is only a theory if the letter's contents can be believed. Her letter read, "I will strike terror into the one who has abandoned me."
Yeah, I mean,
Fleur's
sounds
letter
like
talks
something's
about
going
choosing her
on that
true
we're not
family.
able to understand
Oldin
right
is
now.
not frequently in this town, is he? He has essentially abandoned his daughter.
Interesting, okay.
Only the guests were drugged that night, but not Oldin, herself, or her mother. She needed him awake to scare him. As luck would have it, Edwin had the cursed item needed for transformation into a werewolf. Her mother was assisting her in this plot. Fleur never intended to kill. She only wished to scare Oldin. Perhaps to convince him to change his behavior.
So she transformed but wasn't able to control herself.
She assumed the form of a werewolf, Oldin's worst fear.
Or maybe he freaked out and ended up, like, trying to kill her and
She wore her mother's
I don't know.
ring, perhaps
She
to
fought
prove
back?
she had permission if found wandering at night. As you know, Fleur is fond of pranks and tricks. What better night than All Hallows Eve?
I refuse to believe this. This is all far too absurd.
A werewolf has considerable strength, even more than a beast, but it doesn't make you impervious to all attacks. Terrified by such a horrible sight, Oldin did not hesitate to burn Fleur with magic, and driven mad by the pain, she killed him by biting his throat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You may have believed she was taken by the fair folk, but this would explain why you were unable to find her, or even to glimpse any trace of her. She was already dead.
Then how do you explain Fleur's letter? Or the wooden effigy of her that appeared in her bed?
I've already laid the evidence bare. There was more than one conspirator. Even taking the cursed item out of the equation, Salome was surely aware that there was a sedated monster in her house, and I strongly believe that she encouraged Fleur to do this prank on her father.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know if I believe that, because the mother was, like, all, like, pious and saying she's a believer of God. I mean, it didn't seem like she really
Salome
cared
must have
for
screamed to
the
clear
pranks and
suspicion
things like
from
that.
herself, and hid in the master's chamber. At that point, Edwin was looking for his stolen item. He broke down the door and found Fleur's body.
How dare you! You have no idea how much Salome loved her daughter. She'd never abandon her like that.
I wouldn't be so quick to discount the possibility. We found a chest made for Fleur in Salome's room. When Isley opened it, she suffered a horrific injury from a trap. Perhaps Salome had the trap for some time, and her target was Fleur. She waited patiently until the Mons was empty. After we escorted Edwin to the dungeon and gathered in the town square, Salome was able to move again. She locked the wolfskin away in a chest in her room, and trapped it with a device. Salome placed the statue in Fleur's bed to make it seem like she was spirited away by the fair folk. The statue fits the description of this receipt I found in Salome's room.
Okay, interesting. I mean, this is making sense.
Fleur must have had some suspicion this plan was risky, so she wrote a short letter. If she succeeded in her prank, All she had to do was destroy it. In fact, since the letter was found still sealed, I would suspect Salome encouraged Fleur to write it. To make Fleur's disappearance seem more credible, she placed it in the forest after her escape.
Interesting. So it was all a
Not only
prank.
did Salome orchestrate this parricide, she survived.
You're forgetting something. You never explained what Edwin did in that room when he found the burned body. If I were him, I'd hide rather than stay out in the open. Why was he holding the body in his arms? You really are awful at keeping secrets. There's no need to talk. So where is she? Where is Salome?
That, I can't tell you. I'm certain that my theory is correct, however. I do not care what happens next on Ari. Whether you believe me or not is irrelevant. I've only tried to make sense of what I could from this tragedy. You cannot make me feel guilty for harboring Edwin as a werewolf. He is not defined by his curse, and I want you to see that.
There's gotta be more to this.
I have provided evidence and my theory as you asked. Nothing I do now can change your mind. I accept it, regardless of the outcome.
I'm expecting some kind of crazy plot twist, because, like, okay, this is very logical, it makes sense, right? But
Sister, I would like to believe you. More than anyone else, believe it or not. Why, however? Well, maybe I can tell you some other time. If we even get a chance, that is. In your mind, you may be right, but unless you bring Salome to me, I will not be convinced. The righteousness that you preach is meaningless without tangible proof. So where is Salome? We searched everywhere in this town for her daughter.
I can only speculate at this point. Are there any secret or hidden passages in Belarov?
That would be far too convenient, wouldn't it? You're right. Nothing you do will change my mind. I have been burned by blindly trusting others in the past more times and in worse ways than you could ever imagine.
I'm trying to rack my mind to think if there's, like, any hints we've gotten since we've been here.
If I am wrong, so be it. When my time comes, I'll gladly accept my penance. There's one thing that's certain. Your arrival into this town brought with it the destruction of this family. If it weren't for you and Edwin, this tragedy would never have happened.
You're
I mean, that's a
blaming
fair
us
argument,
for being
but
caught in a plot we had no part in. You have done nothing but look for reasons to kill Edwin all along. For all I know, maybe you planned for this to happen, to usurp power in Belarov.
I didn't know nuns could tell jokes. As if I would ever wish for such a thing. You should learn to choose your words more wisely, sister. It's unbecoming of a holy woman. But I had the nagging suspicion you were a heretic from the first moment I saw you.
oh my gosh. Oh hey, we get to see him as a werewolf finally.
I won't let you escape.
I mean, could he take a few arrows? I feel like he could. Let's say, I don't
Gates
think
will
this
already be
game
closed
has
by
a good or
now.
bad end.
There's a part of the wall that was hastily patched up. You should be able to climb through there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's what I would do. That would hurt him the most.
Stay with me, Edwin. Don't lose sight of our escape. I'll do my best to heal your wounds.
Ooh.
Ilona! Hold on, we're almost there.
Gosh, I feel like this is the bad end, if there was a bad end.
Ilona!
Edwin, set me down.
Ilona.
Darling.
Yes, I've been waiting to call you that for so long. What a fool I was to keep what I felt about you hidden. The time I spent without you in that cell, it was excruciating. And that's when I realized how much I want you by my side.
The exhaustion must be getting to you. So you weren't joking about wanting me to meet your family. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Could we rest for a while?
I don't hear anyone pursuing us. Just for a moment, then.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, where is this gonna go?
I'm sorry.
Like, is this just how it ends?
About what?
You're right about me not saying what it is that I want to say. Burying it so deep within the abyss that I can't even reach it. Even if I want to, just maybe, if I'd come clean to the people that we'd met thus far, and to you, about the Wolfskin, the incessant nightmares that I've been having. I couldn't even trust you to watch me transform.
It's okay. We can start over.
If I'd had the courage to ask for your assistance, we could have found an alternative.
We must be strong and keep our past behind us. What's done is done. Besides, I'm here for you now, and you are for me. I'm sure that God has tested our resolve more than enough.
I would like to believe that. Evil breeds evil, indeed. Wherever I go, something always goes wrong. I've noticed hints of it, even in these past few days. Mind you, that banquet was all too much for someone like me to begin with. I used to enjoy these things, but now
I know.
Everybody had something to hide. That fear only led to mistrust, and this to violence. When we were all alone, yet turning against each other. I know I'm in no position to say this, but I see the absurdity of it all now. There is no point in hiding. It does no good.
It's hard sometimes to be vulnerable, isn't it? To feel exposed when you have no one you can trust, nobody to confide in. And you cannot close this distance with others, because you always second-guess intentions. There's nothing worse than feeling alone in the world.
Yeah, I mean, like, if no one trusts you, it's like it's hard to trust anybody else, for sure.
Is that why Salome did what she did?
I do not know, but I pity her.
I mean, do they just die here?
Edwin? Ed,
Yes, love. I'm still here. What is it?
is it okay if I close my eyes for a while? I don't think I'll be able to hold out for any longer.
Dang,
You
it sounds like
may.
they're dying.
I'll keep watch, so you can rest.
I wonder what your family is like.
It's a big family. They'll definitely welcome you.
That sounds nice.
Ilona, love,
I'm here. Did you need anything?
Okay, I thought she died.
I just wanted to say how much I owe to you.
You're always thanking me. Ed,
Yes?
do you think you could hold me? I want to lie down.
Of course. I'll lie down with you. We should be safe here.
Thank you.
Like, there's no way this is how this ends. I feel like there was more to that story.
Should our journey end, so just it be. I am lost no more. I lay to rest. The sun bestows its blessings over me, while you wait beside. I flourish with the bountiful verdure, though words are withering. In all uncertainty we usher. I bid you know. I love you. I love.
No, that's not how it ends. No. Really? What? That was the ending? There's no way. Is there an after credits at least? Like, there's gotta be more to that story. I feel like that was just so abrupt. Like, we didn't even find out what happened. Unless they're making a sequel, I mean, like, I was actually, like, interested, and then, like, they just didn't explain past, like, what happened to Salome? Like, and I'm trying to figure out why was there... I don't know. I feel like there's unexplained stuff. I guess I can skip this.
We are found.
Praying deep in dead of night, you have found your path.
Praying still, no end in sight. A pure heart perseveres.
Praying, no desire, delight, a serene soul you see.
Bring back those melancholy hearts.
Cleanse these with your soul unbound.
Out of sorts, but not far gone. With you, nothing lost is found.
Oh, okay. We're still going? Oh, okay. I was like, oh, please give me more closure than this. What the heck? That was good. Dang. Well, that was really good. I felt like I needed more to that story. I felt like there was supposed to be more. But, I mean, I enjoyed it. I can't say I didn't, but I just wish there was more. I wish there was like an after story of sorts, I guess. Or like a, oh, here's what ended up happening afterwards. Because it's like, we didn't get any closure about whether she was just trying to like take over the town or we didn't really discover who did it, honestly. Like, I feel like that's why the ending, it just didn't really satisfy me. Like, so many questions. But anyways, you guys, that was Wolfskin's Curse. Pretty good. Go check it out. Support the creator. Leave them a review. Even if you just watched me, like, leave a review. Say it was good. Because I know it helps support them and helps get the game out to more people. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.